Hey everybody, it's AP and today we're renovating the closet. Check it out. Our house is 80, almost 90 years old, and we bought it about 6 years ago. And we've touched almost every room in this house, whether it was re-drywalling, the walls or the ceilings, painting, molding, trim, everything. One of the last things we haven't touched is the center hall closet, which is where when guests come, this is kind of like our coat check area. This is where we store all of our coats and shoes and hats and everything. And it's a hot mess in there. It's just a disaster. We have not touched it at all. And now with all this time on our hands, we figured, why not now? So let's go take a look inside the closet.
The closet's fairly large, and in the current configuration, we use both sides to store all of our jackets. All of our shoes are loose and just scattered on the floor. Oh, and then we have these classy wire baskets where we stuff our bags. And what do we have here? Well, it's a hole in the wall.
So the first thing I want to tackle is the hole in the wall. And what I'm going to do is cut out a rectangular piece here and then replace that with just a regular piece of 1/2-inch sheetrock in here as a patch. And then I'll mud that up, and hopefully I can use my 5th grade artistic skills to try to match the texture of this wall. So, and then with this hole, I think I'm just going to just patch it. Can I just patch it? Yeah, we'll try that. Probably not the most professional of patch jobs, but it's really small. I mean, I obviously couldn't do that with this, so. Anyway, let's mark this out and cut it.
First, I squared up the hole. Next, I took some scrap wood and screwed that in through the opening so my new sheetrock had something to grab onto. I attached the new sheetrock and gave it a generous coat of mud. Now, normally I wouldn't recommend using this much compound, but in this case, I'm trying to match the texture of the plasterboard, so I had to take some creative license. And while that's drying, let's do the cleaning out the closet montage. And we're done.
Now that all the shoes and coats are out of the closet, it's time to start tearing the shelving out. So we're actually going to keep shelves on this side and this side. We're just going to take this section out here. Unfortunately though, the way these were originally put in, there's like this weird little lip on this bracket, and so these aren't going all the way against the wall. So I'm actually just going to take out everything and replace them with new brackets, and new lumber here, because I don't think I can reuse this. I might be able to reuse this middle section here because it's long enough, so I can just cut it down, sand it down, and paint it. But the two on the sides won't cut it for me for this exercise. God damn, that focus is awful. The coats will stay on this side. We're just going to use the one bar though across, and this will go away, this will go away, and what we're going to do here is, this weird thing, this little shelving unit here will go away as well, and it's going to be replaced with a bench. So the idea is you can walk in, you can sit on the bench, there'll be cubbies underneath the bench over here and over here, where all the shoes will go. And then up on these shelves over here, we'll have cubbies with baskets for bags and hats and gloves and all that crazy stuff. So let's start tearing out the shelves. While the mud and patches are drying in the closet, I figured I'd come down to the shop and start cutting up the wood that will make up the seats on either side of the closet. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this, and I think what I'm going to do is create a base out of 2x4s, which I'll then attach to the studs on the wall, and then below that is where I'll put the shelves for the shoes. And I wanted to make this out of 2x4s and put it into the studs because it could be a second bench in the closet. So the idea is we'll have a bench on one side where people can sit down and put their shoes on, and then on the other side will be a similar bench, but underneath that will be space for all the shoes. I'm going to just cut up some 2x4s and make a little bit of a frame and see if that will hold my fat ass. Okay, let's do this.
I cut out all the wood. However, instead of pre-assembling in the shop, I decided to install each stick individually because the walls were just hella uneven. I measured up 20 inches from the floor to make sure I had a decent bench height. I used my level to make sure I had a good starting line. I then used a stud finder to, well, find the studs, so I could install my ledger joist. What's this?
I don't know.
It's a stud finder.
Stud finder.
Stud finder. That's how Mommy found Daddy. Right? Right?
Hi.
Heart. Steady. What? There you go like this. What? Right there. That's where the stud is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I then used my level, speed square, and mallet to make sure all the supports were good before screwing them down.
Well, the bases for the benches have been mounted to the walls, and I'm feeling pretty good about their structural integrity. There are so many screws and so many studs that I feel really good about this. So now I think I'm ready to actually start painting inside. I'm going to paint the walls just a regular eggshell white, and then the ceiling a ceiling white. But before I paint the ceiling, I have to remove the light fixture that's in here. Now what's interesting about this light fixture is it actually is powering this light bulb here. I don't know when this was installed or what, but it's a pretty cool little feature. It's like a refrigerator door. So when the door closes, the light turns on. When the door opens, it turns on. How cool is that? So I've ordered a motion sensor light bulb to hopefully replicate this effect, because who wants to pull a string to open or turn the light on? So this is going to go away. We're replacing it with a motion sensor light bulb, but I need to refinish the fixture that's already in there because I like it. It's old, it's made of metal, it has a lot of character to it, so all I'm going to do is strip it down and spray paint it, maybe like a silver or something, or a brushed nickel color, because we don't do anything but brushed nickel in this house. All right, so let's take down the light. Oh no, first we have to turn off the breaker because I do not want to get electrocuted. The paint's up and it came out better than I thought it would. I actually put on 2 coats because the first coat didn't hide as much as I had wanted it to. So the second coat really made the color just blend in and hide all these crimes that I'm trying to cover up here. So now I'm ready to start putting in the shelving. So I'm going to take my measurements and head down into the shop to cut up some wood and make some shoe cubbies. Oh, and one other thing. So before I had that cool little refrigerator door light switch thing, I've replaced that with a motion sensor light fixture, or motion sensor light bulb holder. Yeah, that sounds right. So when you open the door and take a step in, the light turns on. And then after a minute of no activity, the light will turn off. It's super cool. Right now I have it hanging from the ceiling with just like a temporary light fixture while I'm working on, see, went off. I guess I'm not moving enough. See, it's really cool. I have a temporary light bulb fixture in there while I'm repairing the original one, which I'll make a different video about so you can see how I fix that up. Anyway, so that's in, that's cool. Let's go down to the shop and make some shelves.
It's good to have a lot of scrap wood. These shelf brackets are just 1x2 pine that I'm recycling for my first coffee table project. I'm countersinking screw holes to class them up a bit. Next, I cut out the bench tops and the shelves. For the bench tops, I used 3/4 inch oak plywood. I want this to look really sharp, but also be sturdy. The shelves were made with 3/4 inch birch plywood. I probably could have used a 1/2 inch, but since I won't have any cross supports under the shelves, I didn't want to risk it. I stained the oak a nice ebony and painted the shelves and brackets with a satin black enamel.
All right, all the shelves have been painted, the seat has been stained, so I'm ready to start putting this all together in the closet. So let's start hanging this stuff up. And it's all put back together. The closet's done. And I have to say, it came out pretty nice. Let's check it out. The cubbies have been replaced with these felt bins, and each bin has a purpose now. So there's hats and scarves and gloves in one, outdoor toys in another, baby stuff, harnesses, and I forget what's in that one. Over here we have our jackets. And what's great about this is that my wife Marie Kondoed the hell out of our closet, so we've slimmed down on what we don't need or use anymore and just have the stuff that we're going to use. Winter stuff is now in storage. The shoes have also been tidied up considerably. Again, all the winter stuff is in storage, and we only have in here what we use on a regular basis. Over here we have bag storage underneath our oak bench. And then top it all off, I wanted to do something with this section here. And hello. So we put a cool mirror here so you can check yourself before you head out to work or out with friends and stuff. So yeah, there it is. Quite the transformation. I can also sit on the bench, put on my shoes, take off my shoes, put the back. This is an easy project to do yourself. You can do it in a weekend if you have undistracted time to pull it all together. Cost-wise, I had most of the lumber. I think I spent maybe $50 on some additional sheets of birch plywood for the shelves, but I had the oak and stuff on stock, in stock. Paint was just one can of mixed paint. I think that was like $40, $35 over at the home center. So it doesn't cost a huge amount of money to transform your closet like this. The other cool thing is that it gives you an opportunity to go through all of your crap and get rid of what you don't need anymore. I think we got rid of jackets and shoes and all kinds of stuff that have just been sitting in the closet taking up space. So now we have this cool, clean, streamlined place to put our coats on in the morning and at night. Oh, and don't forget, I have a motion sensor now. There it goes. Okay. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Give yourself a thumbs up. If you liked what you saw, give me a. If you didn't like what you saw, give me a. Regardless, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Are you trying something like this on your own? Let me know how it went for you. Thanks for watching, and we're off to the next project.